I hope you can see it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Our project here in Kenya, we have the project LAPSSET Corridor Development, LAPSSET Corridor Project. And this is a project which we have given the theme of building transformative and game changer infrastructure for a seamless connected Africa. And as I continue, see why we are giving it that theme. So LAPSSET Corridor starts for Lamu Port, Southern Sudan, Ethiopia Transport Corridor, with a number of components. The first one being the Lamu Port and the Special Economic Zone, highways, the oil pipelines. We have the railway, the international airports, and we have 3 resort cities. We also have a dam, which is proposed, and this is mainly to supply water to the main port. When you look at the LAPSSET project, even here in our country, it is the biggest project in our Vision 2030. This is the vision or the planning blueprint which we are using this time. This is also a project which has been admitted in African Union as a presidential infrastructure champion initiator, where our president is the champion. And it has also been recognized as an Infrastructure Development Africa, PINDA, priority project. And it's because, or rather, what we have in the PINDA project, they intend to do modern highways, that's 7,000 kilometers, modern railways, and this is all for connectivity. And there is also the issue of adding port capacity, and our project happens to be within these projects. When we talk of the LAPSSET Corridor project, this is the project from Lamu Port, because this is intended to have the Lamu Port, all the way to Isiolo. And from this point now, we can branch to Ethiopia, which can again join to Eritrea and Djibouti, or take the other route to Juba, which again can connect us to Bagui and also to Douala. So that is the corridor we are talking about. So the corridor is from Lamu to Ethiopia, and also from Lamu to Juba for the time being. These are the project timelines, starting with the signing of the agreement, commencement of construction, which started in 2016. Then we also had the negotiations with the potential port operators, which is still ongoing. The first berth was to be ready by 2019, and we almost achieved that. Operating the first berth was to be done by 2020. We are lagging behind because it's time we are planning for the same. The second and third berth was supposed to be completed by 2021. We are still within the timelines because as we speak, they are at almost 86% complete. Then we look at maybe the opportunities we have in this project, as well as public-private partnership is concerned. And we have 3, starting with the Lamu Port Agri-Bulk Terminal, the Lamu Port Liquid Bulk Terminal, and then we have the Special Economic Zone. Allow me to state it at this point that the intention would be to do the first 3 berths through the assistance of our government. And then the next 20 berths or so should be done through public-private partnership. That's a version of what we are thinking to be the agri-bulk terminal. And then these are the capacities anticipated for the agri-bulk terminal. And the anticipation is that there's a projection of increasing the grain tons from 547,000 tons in 2023 to 3.3 million tons by the year 2045. We also see in Kenya bears the greatest demand at 70%. And then we anticipate economic internal rate of 12%. So then the components of the agri-bulk terminal, we have the quarry wall. We also have the area for the temporary storage, a dedicated conveyor belt for the terminal. And then we have the truck loading stations and also the parking facilities. When you look at the areas, there is the terminal area with about 10.8 hectares, and then the quarry 240 meters. And then we intend to do 16 silos. When you come to look at maybe the resource requirement on the same, there is the parts of the infrastructure, which you take about 127 million USD dollars. The superstructures, which you take about $44 million. Then there is the equipment and the IT, taking about 40 million USA dollars. The initial estimate upfront investment of about 163 USA million dollars. And then there is the estimated cost on operation of about 46 USA million dollars. If you were to phase out the project then, maybe then we'd only have 2 phases, with the initial phase taking the 163 USA million dollars, and the rest going to the second phase. Then we go to the liquid bulk terminal. Which is really meant for both the refined and the crude oil. And the idea is that you'd be getting the crude oil from Lokchal Basin down to Lamu Port, where it is refined, and then we have a refined oil pipeline again, taking the refined oil all the way back to Juba and also all the way back to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. This is because we anticipate we have those reserves, which you translate to 60,000 barrels to 1,000 barrels when you consider the low and the high of the same. We are also anticipating that the demand for refined oil products, inputs, and crude oil exports in Kenya is expected to increase from 6.8 million tons in 2020 to 9.3 million tons in 2045. And then the structures to be done would have the large tanks, the small tanks, 4 large tanks and 4 small tanks. And we are also giving the occupancy rate over the first bath. And here you have now the design of the tanks, the pipelines, and the oil tanks. So when it comes now to the resources required, we'll have to do the infrastructure. And again, we have the infrastructures and the equipment and IT. Total budget for unsplit budget for infrastructure, that $1 million for infrastructure, 58 million dollars, and then for equipment and IT, $5 million dollars. Total estimated upfront investment of 61 million dollars, and total estimated full period investment of 94 million dollars. The third opportunity is the special economic zone, Lamu special economic zone. And the objective are quite a number. The first one being to diversify production of goods and services for domestic and export markets, attract both local and foreign investments, to promote value addition, promote local entrepreneurship through small and medium enterprises, to enhance technology development and innovation, and to promote rural and regional industrialization by exploiting comparative advantage of local resources. And then we are also saying that the authority has made the following strides in realizing the Lamu Special Economic Zone. We already have what you call a master plan for the zone. We also have an integrated transport infrastructure master plan. And currently we are in the process of designating Lamu as a special economic zone, which is ongoing. So again, when it comes to looking at the resources required, or maybe before we go to that, let's look at maybe the way we are seeing it. And Lamu Special Economic Zone saves the tenants times cost and creates connectivity, hence leading to markets access of the participating industries. There is the nautical characteristics. The Lamu port design includes berths capable of handling bulk carrier of that class, and container ship of that weight, and general cargo ship of that class again. There is the opportunity of the greenfield. The greenfield development with sufficient space available offers opportunity and flexible to develop the asset free from existing obstacles. And then there is also the opportunity of raw materials with the recent discovery of oil, gas, rare minerals, and coal in East Africa along the LAPSSET corridor. It makes Lamu a captive processing destination for these raw materials. And then we have the resources required for this. Total investment upfront, 98 million dollars, and total estimated full period investment of 491 million dollars. We are also giving the large demand, starting with that large demand for basic storage, which will increase gradually, and then for warehousing, light industries and public buildings, roads and landscaping. But the total land demand in hectares is 820, and that land has been it has been shelved for that. Yeah, this is just what we have just discussed. And this is the regional and okay, when you consider a LAPSSET project, it's a regional project. The footprint countries are Kenya, Ethiopia, and Southern Sudan. It's important for us to give you that the population of these country and their GDPs, because actually this is not the population we are targeting. And the anticipation is that, or what is triggering this is because consumption growth exceeds production growth. There is also the significant growth in imports and also considerable growth in exports. And we are targeting a population of 515 million people who would be served by this project. What follows is just a pictorial pictorials of Lamport. I'll try to go very fast. And this was during the time of commissioning, where you have our head of state and the former DG in the front line, and other leaders in the country. This is the contractors' camp, where they used to manufacture the pipes which were meant to be part of, or to hold the ground where we reclaimed our port, because part of our port actually, for us to build it, we have to reclaim the sea for that port to be. And this is part of the constructions which were being done. Again, part of the constructions in phases. We had to use this dredger to get material to fill in the sea part which we were reclaiming. So again, this is part of the port. These are the 3 berths which are in construction. And this was the load which were to join the port with the dry land. Of course, it will be clear as we continue. Actually, it's more clear here. You can see the already reclaimed part and the berths, and these again the load which is joining the port to the dry land. The same at the construction. Yes, the same at the construction, but at a later date. Part of the highways joining our country, Kenya and Ethiopia, we call it the Isiolo-Moyale highway, which is already complete, meant to evacuate goods now from the port to the neighboring countries, are still part of it. What you can see here is part of the loads, and this is part of what we call one-stop border point shop, which is in Moyale. Moyale is our border town between us and Ethiopia.
I'm sorry, as a moderator, I'm very sorry. I also have a very unpleasant task, which is to highlight to the speakers when they are over time, more or less. So I would, in order to also make the planning, I would kindly ask you if you can keep it. Oh, okay. That's very short.
That was my last, that was my last slide.
Yes.
Thank you for alerting me on that. This slide is showing where we the places where we have our where we are getting our oil from, our oil basin. So what you see in the background are some of the tanks which are using to store this soil. And thanks a lot, moderator, for allowing me that time. Thanks a lot, panelists, for listening to me. Yes, there we are. And thanks so much.